is going to be the first anniversary of Tracy Allen Living in My Truth. And I'm going to honor everyone who came on and helped me, with this beautiful thing. It's an award show. I've never seen it really done in recovery. It's just something that, y'all know my head, my mind, when I get to, putting something together or thinking of something, I'm going to make it happen in the most gracious way. There will be a dinner. We will have entertainment. We do have DJ. I suggest that we all dress like we're going to the Grammy Awards or something. Just get pretty and just get beautiful, because you're going to deserve it. You're going to deserve this special moment. I'm going to have four speakers. Michelle Primo and her husband. They're going to speak. The Primos, Reverends, and Primos, if y'all know. Also, Carl and Carl Harris is his name. We're going to have Edwina Bell. She's going to speak. And we have a special speaker that you will see there, at the event. It's going to be at Dream Terminal in Chester, over Chester, on Avenue of the States, 400, I believe, Avenue of the States. I hope everybody can come, everybody and all who can come, because it's only 150 tickets and they're really going fast. And I know for some of the speakers, a lot of them are getting family members, and everybody to come. It will be the walk the purple carpet, just like you see on BET, Grammys, Emmys, and all. We're going to have, cameras out there. You will be interviewed. It's going to be really great. So let's just make it a great moment. For now, we have what they call the Moonlight Special. Tickets are $35 per person. And at the end of this month, beginning of June, there will be $40. There'll be vendors there, and again, great entertainment. So I hope you all can come out and enjoy this, and I know every individual that's being honored will be honored and will appreciate, being an honoree. Some of the names I can shout out a little bit in case some of you don't remember some of the people who have shared. And we're going to go back through some of all that we were sharing about. We have Kiana Palmer, Sharon, Shadija, I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. We have Patrice Todd, Michelle Saunders, Shantae Jones, Valerie Smith, Danielle Jennings, Angela McKinney, Roxanne Johnson, Stacy Love, Marie, Larry Ham, which is Lops, Sharon Potts, Edwina Bell, Melvin Carter, Q, Wazid, Jeffrey Granger, Sean Palmer. These are the people who have spoken on this show. Sounds like a whole lot because it is a whole lot, but it won't be a whole lot because I'm doing this thing. It's going to be beautiful, set up very beautifully, and I hope friends and families can come out and see this beautiful moment for them, because it will be a life-taking thing that they will always can look back on and can appreciate, because our work of getting in recovery is hard work. Our work of getting where we all have gotten wasn't easy, but we're there, and we're remaining there, and we're sharing our love and our strength and our hope and our information and our education with all the still suffering addicts and alcoholics today. So I hope everybody, who wants to come, I'm going to put my Cash App on here for you. for you guys, and I will meet up with you guys, to give you your tickets, or your names will be on the list for buying, the tickets. We got it in check and control, and we're ready to go. Okay, so again, I want all my honorees to be beautiful, because you are, inside and out, and I hope, during this, for you, that you will feel so special June 28th, because that's what I intend to do, to make you feel very special, because you deserve every bit of it. So, hi Tracy. Hey Jack. What's up? I got your ticket waiting for you too. Hey Rabia, how you doing? I hope all is well for you. My prayers are up for you, and I really hope I'm gonna call you, okay? I hope, hey Nina. Hey Nina. How you doing? Y'all know I love shouting out, so I'm gonna do that. Stacy said, we'll be purchasing my tickets by the end of May. Okay, I mean, I have you guys. You don't have to purchase a ticket. You are an honoree. Anyone that wants to come and enjoy this with you will purchase tickets. Honorees, you don't have to purchase a ticket. You are the ones that's being honored. You know what I mean? So you're there. Anybody that wants to purchase a ticket and sharing this moment with you is who the tickets are for. I've been asked that, so I just decided to announce it on here as well. I'm going to give you guys some hearts, because I definitely really appreciate y'all. Y'all just don't know how much. You know what I mean? So these hearts are definitely for you. The love that's coming from me and appreciation that's coming from me, for you guys being on this live. And that doesn't leave out you guys that been on this live since we started. You know what I mean? And you are still here. You are such family. You know what I mean? We created this family, and it's just a beautiful thing. I can't wait to get on this live to talk to you guys, and share with you guys and bring people on here, with their stories and their information, and strengths and hopes that they have, to share. I really, really, really hope that, this live has brought, some understanding to the ones of you who don't use, and the ones of you that have someone out there that's still dealing and suffering in the street, or lost someone, this is one of the reasons why I do this, by my being a drug and alcohol counselor for so many years, and I see the family's pain. I see, and I hear the addicts and alcoholics' pain as well, but then shift, with disease that they can't quite understand, or how to understand it, and to deal with it, because again, I'll say again, it's just not easy, for us to do that. But when we come, like myself, when we come real and raw, in our language, hey, look, they get it, they hear it, they start to get it, you know what I mean? And don't give up on them. Don't give up on them, because they're there, they're in there. They just have to get in touch with self. And before they can do that, they have to find that higher power greater than themselves, so they can be able to accept this challenge and surrender to the sickness, and that's mainly like getting honest with themselves, and start learning what the truth is, and to understand that the truth will set you free. So, that was one of the reasons why I just chose to call this Living in My Truth, and I've learned how, to honor myself and love myself and put God before me. You know what I mean? This is why I'm able to do this before you, and it wasn't easy, and it's not easy. And that brought me to a topic today as well. Again, I'm going to announce Jenny's situation, once more and more people come on. And I want to try to read some of these things that y'all are putting on here. Hey, Edwina. How you doing? Hey, Renee. How are you? Rabia. Sheila. Natalie. How you doing? Yeah, I be trying to talk heavy, Natalie. I just be talking the real deal. I just talk what I feel. I don't make up nothing I say, you know what I mean? I try to be as authentic as I possibly can. I don't have any shame in my game to my story, and I haven't really even gotten deep down in my story. You know what I mean? I just share like bits and pieces sometimes, but it's going to come to that too. When y'all going to hear that real story, man, that shit is insane. It's crazy. You'll be like, come on, girl, I know you wasn't out. You wasn't doing that. Yeah, I did a whole lot of things. I did a whole lot of things that people just didn't see me do. But in my life, in my heart, in my truth, I know what I've done. You know what I mean? And in order for me to get learn how to love myself again, I had to start talking to myself and telling the truth, to me. So I was able to share it, with you, and my story is no different than anybody else's story, man. I've done some real crazy stuff, stuff that I'm not proud of today, but, I do know that I'm sick, and I know I have a disease that's cunning, baffling, and powerful. It's cunning, baffling, and powerful, and I do know what these words mean today. You know what I'm saying? And it took a lot of digging and deep digging, and help for me to understand this. I just didn't just poof up and say, okay, it's all right, man. I went to rehab. I've been in one rehab in my life, thank God. And back then, these rehabs was powerful. These people were seen like they was abusive and crazy and not, but no, disease is the one that's abusive and crazy. Disease is the one that God had me trapped. You know what I mean? Disease is the disrespectful one. You know what I mean? And this sickness lies in my inner mind. You know what I mean? And it was just melting my heart. Took my heart and flipped it over, and I didn't know it even existed anymore. You know what I mean? And lost myself. Totally lost myself from this sickness. So I despise it, today. And I'm going to make sure I can help as many people to understand that this disease is real. This disease is cunning, baffling, and powerful. This disease is a killer, and this disease will take you out because that's what it's programmed to do. But today I have found me. I have me back. I have protection. That is my God. That is my higher power. Y'all just don't know how much I love God. Boy, I tell you, I love God so much, and sometimes I still say I'm so sorry for not believing in you. You know what I mean? And he just lets me know, well, you didn't know. You didn't know. You were dealing with some things. Devil is powerful. It's cunning, baffling, and powerful. And I say, wow, I wish I never missed any of loving him. But it's okay today. It's okay today because he gets all my love today. And I know that he's there. And I know that he's going to always be there. I have my serenity prayer. Hey, Natalie, how are you? Kiana, hey, I got your ticket too, Key. That's why I love the serenity prayer, y'all. And I was going to talk about that. Yeah, just stay. Disease is disrespectful. I know, I know. You know what I mean? Can't stand it. Can't stand it. It's a powerful little bugger. Can't stand it. That's why I love that serenity prayer because the words are so worthy. The words are so real. The words have changed my life and allow me to understand and allow me to stay in check. You know what I mean? And it allows me to know that, all I have to do, is love God. You know what I mean? Believe in God, and he gave me the road to walk. so I'm able to talk again, you know what I mean? And I'm able to live again, and life for me today, I must say, is beautiful. Nothing's perfect. Nothing's perfect, but I don't drug or drink no more. You know what I mean? I got that in check, today, and hopefully tomorrow to be the same thing. You know what I mean? And I got a lot of days behind me, you know what I mean, that brought me to this day to still say one word, two letters, one syllable, and that's no. You know what I mean? By any means necessary. No means no, by any means necessary. And I got that thing planted in my head, in my heart, in my soul. No has to mean no. Drugs can no longer be in my life. Alcohol can no longer be in my life. They're not welcome. They're not trustworthy. They're devil's advocates. That's how I look at them. Stacy, you saying something on here, and I'm going to try to get to what you're saying, because that was a whole lot I see. Stacy said, God is a restorer of time, so he's going to restore every moment when you were in them streets. In those streets. That's right, Stace. That's right, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that. I know that he did. I know he was showering over me. I know he was with me. I didn't feel it then because I couldn't even feel, but I know it now. You know what I mean? Because he allowed me to know. Because I surrendered, and I came to believe in him, and even when I had to take inventory on myself to go back, and dig up, everything that was in the way of me loving God or trusting God, that came up too. You know what I mean? That he is trustworthy. You follow? So it wasn't like, I didn't know he exists. I just didn't think he cared about me, pretty much. Sometimes I can use words sometimes, y'all, that can sometimes not be the exact word that I want to use, but I can say some things, you know what I mean? And it still means what I'm trying to say, because if I catch it and you say something, I'm a bounce right in it. I hope y'all know what I mean when I say that. But that serenity prayer is, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Wow. That little part of that serenity prayer, I say 24/7. I don't care what comes my way. If I know that this is going to be heavy, if I know that this is going to make me happy, for any given reason, it's for people, it's for places, and it's for things. And it keeps me on a straight and a narrow to how I need to deal with people, places, and things, no matter how they come. You know what I mean? It keeps me balanced. He gave me the serenity to accept things I can't change. I've done a lot of things. I've been in a lot of situations. And God gave me that serenity, the serenity, y'all, to accept things I cannot change, and then have the courage to change things that I had a very hard time with accepting, gave me the courage to stand up to the beast, gave me the courage to accept the things that I've done that I felt was unacceptable. You know what I mean? That kept me down and fed my sickness. It gave me this prayer that has humbled me and made me feel like, I've been forgiven. I've been forgiven by my God. You know what I mean? And it allowed me to know that if my people, in different places, didn't want to forgive me, that I forgive them for not forgiving me, because I'm not mad at you. You know what I mean? But I've forgiven myself, and when I learned how to forgive myself, I had let go a lot of weight. I had took off a lot of shame. I had start dependent on God more and more and more. And he was right there all the time. You know what I mean? And allowed me to know that this is not the end. This is not the end of your life. You know what I mean? Your life is just beginning. You know? And at that time, I was in my 30s. You know what I mean? Late 20s. You know, in my 30s. You know, when I stopped using cocaine, I believe I was in my late 20s, though. It was in my late 20s. You know, it's been quite some long time, you know, that I wore that mask that nobody could really see, that I was out there that bad. You know what I mean? Until I started just to deteriorate. You know how a vampire looked good for life, and then the sun hit him, and then he started looking crazy and old and nutball. You know what I mean? That's the life that we addicts live. You know what I mean? We just get ripped up and ripped apart. You know what I mean? And down so bad until we either going to go out or we going to come back up. You know what I mean? With truth and honesty and understanding and acceptance and surrendering. You understand what I'm saying? And we going to, God help, you know, myself with the 12 steps. You follow me, of Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholic Anonymous. Then I got introduced into a serenity prayer that just built me up to deal with all my 12 steps. They just one in one. You know what I mean? I realized that, you know, something is missing out these 12 steps, and it was prayer, you know? And that prayer came to me through the serenity prayer, you know? And I can't, you know, speak a whole lot of different prayers, but I hear them, I understand them, I love them, and I love to hear them being said. You know what I mean? But my prayer that works for me, with me and my sickness, and the love of my higher power and self, and the love of you and my children and my family, comes from the strength for me of the serenity prayer, because I believe in it, and it works for me. You know, and what works for me may not work for you. You know what I mean? And then it gave me the wisdom to know the difference. I know why I became a junkie. I know why I tricked. I know why I was stealing. I know why I was looked at as the worst mommy in the world. I know why people looked at me like I was crazy. I know why I went down so bad. You know, the wisdom to know the difference. The wisdom to know the difference. Man, I understand, because I have a disease, a sickness called disease, you know, was an addiction of cocaine. You know, cocaine made me happy when I used it, but it was killing me the entire time that I was doing it, from the fun time with it to happy time with it to the sorrow time with it, to the weakest point of my life with it. This thing, I understand it totally, you know, and I have that wisdom to know the difference. Why I lost everything, why I lost my self-respect, why I lost my faith in God, why I lost my friends, why I made my families angry at me, why nobody wanted me around, why, you know, I'm out here running these streets and can't control myself. You know, I didn't know that as it was happening, but I definitely understand it now, and I definitely understand why I did it, and I definitely know that I'm an addict, and I will be an addict for the rest of my life. All because the serenity prayer keeps me power punching, ready to deal with whatever I got to deal with from anybody, you know what I mean, any place, you know, and anything. You know, so I just like carry this thing with me 24/7, 24/7. And I could be saying a serenity prayer and you don't even know that I'm praying. You know what I mean? That serenity prayer stops me and make me think first before reacting. When I used to just jag it off. You know what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful prayer. It is a tool for me as well that I will always use. You know what I mean? I can't give it up. You know, it said that I can, if I live one day at a time, accepting hardships as the pathway to my peace. Powerful. Powerful. Y'all hear me, recovering people? Y'all hear what I'm saying? Living one day at a time. I share that all the time because that's what I was taught. You know what I mean? That's what I was suggested to do, because I can't take on, days ahead of me. I don't even know what to expect in those days, like tomorrow. Tomorrow's a mystery. You know what I mean? But I can be grateful and thankful for yesterday because I got through those days, and all due to the power of belief, in my higher power and what he said that can happen for me, and accepting those hardships, as well, and lead me to the path of peace. And that's what it has done. The Serenity Prayer is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. It's just like the song or something, that's in my head. It lets me know that God is real and that God is there. And, this is the path that he has given me, as well as the walk that I have chosen, and he has given me, and it's a beautiful thing that I'm able to, keep that promise that I promised God, and live this, you know what I mean, and stay clean daily, one day at a time. He said, taken as he did this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it. You know what I mean? If I could fix this whole world, man, if I could take everybody who's suffering, today and fix them, I would. If that would be just like being like I Dream of Genie or somebody, and go boink boink, and I done fixed everybody. But I know that I can't do that. And I know that this world is what it is. Because I'm awake now. You know what I mean? I have the wisdom to know the difference. I have accept things I can't change, and I've changed things that I can, and I focus today. You know what I mean? Because I have to. I have a sickness that's in my head, that's in my brain, still trying to play the matrix on me. Still got pieces up there all over the place. You know what I mean? But I've been picking the right ones. And every time I pick those puzzle pieces that go into the space, you know what I mean? It deepens my sickness and deepens my sickness with a powerful chain, and put it in remission that it can't break right now because I'm winning. You know what I mean? I'm winning. I'm not cocky. It don't mean I'm not scared of it. You know what I mean? Don't mean that I'm not aware, but I have the wisdom to know the difference. You know what I'm saying? And that's a powerful thing. That's a powerful thing, like the Power Rangers. Y'all know what I'm saying? Compared to this sickness. I know what it'll do if I don't say no. I know what it'll do if I can get all this information that I was offered. I know what it'll do to me if I just give God up. You know what I mean? But today that's impossible. It's not going to happen in this second of the day, this minute of the day, this hour of the day. It is not going to happen. Not right now. You know what I mean? Because right now I'm powering myself up all over again. It's like the Energizer Bunny for me when I say the Serenity Prayer. It keeps me oiled. It keeps me living. It keeps me believing. It keeps me rolling. It keeps my belief. Hey, Linda. And Natalie. How are y'all? Natalie said our higher power in combination with willpower will give you sobriety superpowers. Like, go ahead, girl. AKA, you better know it. That's one of my girls, y'all. I always tell them, the power and strength that recovery gives us, and the belief of coming into believing that there's a higher power greater than ourselves will have us like Optimus Prime. That's what I tell them. It's like Optimus Prime. Come on, y'all. Come on with this thing because I got something for you. And all that I can share and I can give and I can offer you, believe me, I'm going to protect you with all that I can. And that's a lot of information and education that I've learned and I come to believe in, that I can share with you, and you hear what you hear out of it and get what you get from it. You know what I mean? That's what Optimus Prime do. You follow what I'm saying? I love to keep little things and little slogans like that I make up, when it comes to my clients, you know what I mean? Because guess what? They remember. It's right here on this screen. They remember, and it works for them. It's called our language. You know what I mean? Speaking the piece so you can understand it. We was talking about last week about the big words and all that stuff. Man, I can't come like that. I can't come like that. I got to come like the surrealness and the realness of what's really happening. You know what I mean? I thank you, my sister. I thank you, my sister, for that. You know what I'm saying? Because that makes me feel so good. I don't have to be like everybody else or how anybody else share. I share the way that I know how to share. I share from my heart. You know, I don't care if it sounds stupid to someone. Guess what? It's working for me. You know, it helped me and it's helping other people. You know what I mean? We need that. We need that straight understanding that we can connect with. You know, because our brains, like I said, is in the puzzle. You know what I mean? And the puzzle is broken all up. You know what I mean? And you're going to give me these words and I'm like, well, damn, what, I got to figure these out too? I ain't got no time for that. I don't feel like all of that. Come straight. Come to the point. Say what you say what you do. Say what you know, and that's going to help you. That's how it helped me. So I just give back what I received. And I give it the best way that I possibly can. And it works if you listen. It works if you hear it. You know what I'm saying? And you have to learn how to do all these things in order to connect with it, because this is why people don't connect with addicts and alcoholics, because they don't understand it. All they know is that we drink, they know we drug, and they know that she need to be ashamed of herself. You know what I mean? I don't see how they do that or why they do that, and some of them is doing it what they call functionally. You know what I'm saying? You're doing the same thing, you're just not doing it as bad as we was doing it. It didn't get you like it got us yet. That's how I see it. But I know it's ruining you. I know it's doing your insides the same as it's doing mine. You know, that's why I bring these type of things to the plate. You know what I mean? I bring it to the floor because some people stop me, or some people will inbox me and say, you know, I never thought about it like that. Well, that's what disease is: cunning, baffling, and powerful. It don't want you to. You know what I mean? It don't want you to know. It wants you to think that you all right doing it like the way you doing it. Hey, it's not all right to do it at all. That's how I feel. You know? Linda said, not right now or later. You got it. You doing it. Go ahead, sis. Thank you. Thank you so much. Absolutely. You know, Linda was a mentor of mine, though. Ever since I was little, she's always been my sister. We always looked up to her. You know, she's one of the ones that I used to look up to as well. You know what I mean? She was always like the big sister type. You know, with me. And I appreciate you for that, Linda. You know why? Because going through it, I really didn't see it. You know what I mean? But understanding life today and my story, you know what I'm saying? You're included in that, you know? And that was like, wow, I would never thought that, you know, or you, Linda, might be saying, you know, I would have never thought that you could be in my story. Well, you played a big sister role to me for some years of my life. You know what I mean? In the Bennett homes. And I love you for that, and I appreciate you for that. This is how my life change has brought me to my truths. This is how my life change has brought up all the dinosaur bones and all the things that I suppressed as a kid. And God had you protecting me in many ways. You know, and I love you for that, you know, and I don't even know if you expected to hear this tonight, but it's the truth. It is the truth. I can look at a whole lot of things from my childhood when I thought that I was all alone and I wasn't getting, you know, what I needed or protected, you know, and all that. But we hung around for a long time and I was protected by you. You know, ain't nobody mess with Linda. Remember that? That encouraged me too. I ain't want nobody, you know, be able to say you ain't gonna mess with Tracy Allen either. You know what I mean? I just go that deep in my life today, you know, and I just think about all the people who was surrounding me, and I know that couldn't really be nothing but God today. You know, I didn't see it then, you know, because I didn't feel none of that and was able to see the light. You know what I mean? But today I am. And I thank you for being my friend. You know what I'm saying? You know, back then, because I spent a lot of time with you. You know, coming up the whole time I lived in the Bennett homes. You know? And so it's like little things that I can come up with, you know, that I can say, I could see where God was protecting me and I really didn't know. You know, Linda said, no, you be your authentic self. Yeah, you know, as this all has made me, you know, today I can be that now, and I can share these things. You know, I can say for many of people who come on here that I looked up to and I admired. You know what I mean? Who gave me attention? You know, you guys gave me attention. You know, where I wasn't getting attention. You know, and I thank all of you, everybody. I'm just pinpointing you out, then because your name is in front of me right now. You know, it said absolutely the same with you. I always looked up to you as well, sis, for real. You know, and I appreciate that. I don't know how, because you was the leader to me. You know, you was the leader to me, and I always had utmost respect for you, as I do today. And you're still the leader for me. You know what I mean? Look at your life today, man. Look how God has used you. You know what I'm saying? And connect us right back together again through him. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I know how to say, you know, thank you, God, for, you know, having Lynn still in my life. You know what I mean? You know, and I'm growing, you know, and I'm grateful for that. You know, she said, "Oh, girl," and you know, hey, Hud, my sister Diane, love her to death. You know, me and my sister is really tight. We real tight. My sister, man, me and her talk about a lot of all this. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we don't be mad about nothing. We just know that, you know, we are there for each other and always going to love each other. And even if I didn't get that from her back in the day, well, I sure enough get it from her for the last years of my life being clean. And that's no ifs and buts about it from all my sisters. You know, the love that we share today and can count on each other today. We do a thing every year called Sister to Sister. You know what I mean? We've been doing it almost 30-something, more than 30-something years. You know what I mean? And we do it no matter what. Just like I get on this live every Wednesday. That's how I think about this live, getting on every Wednesday. It's a must. And that's how we do as sisters. You know what I mean? And every year we do it the week before Christmas. You know, and it's such a beautiful thing and a beautiful time. Me and my sisters may not be around each other for 2 months, 3 months. You know what I mean? But that one day we most certainly are around. But we talk, you know, with each other, you know, around there. We've got sister love, and I feel every bit of it. And y'all know through my story I was shared that I didn't feel none of that when I was younger. You know, God is good. He is good all the time, you know, and he has always had that halo around my head. I just had to learn to know that it was there, you know, and today I'm so grateful that I do. You know, this is Stacy. Oh, wait a minute. I told y'all this thing will move and that one won't. Hey, is that? Yes, God. What's up? I need to see you too. I need you to be coming, being one of my cameramen at the anniversary. I hope you got time that day. Rachel Carson said hi. Etta Burley. Hey, how you doing? You know, Natalie Rivera. You know, our higher power income. Oh, I already read that. That's why this is how slow this one is compared to that, y'all. Linda said, it's funny because I never thought you were dealing with this addiction because you always carried yourself well, always a sharp, and kept your hair done and everything. Love you for life. You know what, Lynn? I love you for life too. But at that particular time when disease was beating me down, had me down, kicking me and stumping me, girl, hair wasn't done. Nah, ragging wasn't done. You know what I mean? I sold everything I had. If I could have snatched the hair off my head and sold that, I would have done that too. You know what I mean? Ragging, just like you see. It's like our nature just go into nothing. It goes into not caring, not seeing yourself. Because see, I couldn't look at myself. You know, because people was telling me what I was looking like, and I was in disbelief that I was looking like that. And that came a lot from family. Excuse me, and it came a lot from friends. You know what I mean? That I just disconnected with because I didn't want to hear it. You know what I mean? Shoot, I could walk past anything that got a shine or a glitz or a mirror on it. You know what I mean? You know how we used to do? I'm looking in that bad boy and I'm going to look at me, but I couldn't look at myself then. I didn't see what I knew I wasn't going to see what I expected to see. You know what I mean? What I used to be. You know, so all I seen was devil. I seen devil all over me. I seen dying devil, everything on the left, honey, nothing on the right. You know what I mean? So I am so grateful today that I chose to get my life right and get my life together. I'm so grateful for, again, you know, LaBert Todd, you know, my sister Cheryl, and Doc Watson. You know, I even left her name out. His name was John Reed. You know what I mean? And me and John Reed are the only ones that are living, you know, from the rehab that I was in, you know, and John is getting older now, you know what I'm saying? But he's, I talked to him the other day, to be honest with you, you know what I'm saying? And we had such a good time, you know. I appreciate our friendship, Lynn, and it's going to always be that, you know, a friendship of love, you know. But I know you didn't see me. A lot of people didn't see me to that point because you don't want to be seen. You know what I'm saying? You just don't want to be seen. So you become an expert at not being seen. You know, people just so happen to see you every once in a while, you know, and because I hung with the people that was doing what I was doing. You know what I mean? Those were my new friends. You know what I mean? New enemies, new friends, new crazy, new every daggone thing. But you don't get judged by what you do when the same people are doing what you're doing. You know, that's another beautiful thing for NA and AA. You know, we don't judge each other. We go in and we talk about things. We share, you know, our stories. We share the strength and hope. I tell you, when I went in that place for the first time, the people welcomed me, you know what I mean? And I didn't know how to receive the welcome. You know what I mean? It took me a minute to understand that, you know, these people ain't playing. They not lying. This is for real. You know, tell me I ain't got no God. You know what I'm saying? Because I act like I was cool and this and that, you know, because shame, you know, and the game, and I didn't have no serenity prayer. You know, I didn't have no belief yet. You know, and going back, because it was mandatory in that place, man, they got me. They got me. You know, because everything they were saying made sense. Everything they were saying was the truth. And I'm looking at these people that I think was worse than me, and they sitting up here looking good. They sitting up here sounding good. They sitting up here crying for me. You know what I mean? And praying for me. You know what I mean? In these rooms to help me. You know what I'm saying? And my ignorance from disease was cunning, baffling, and powerful. You follow what I'm saying? That I couldn't even adjust to it when I first went in there. You know, just to say, okay, I believe in this. It took time. It took one day at a time. And I thank God to this day that I chose to deal with the positive of them, you know, versus going back out to the negative of the devil's activists. You know what I'm saying? And today I give everything to them as well. You know, this is why I'm a part of them today, because that's what all God wants us to do, is to share our strengths and hope. You know, and that's to help the still suffering addict, you know, and alcoholics today. You know what I mean? I love them like I love myself. You know what I mean? Because I know that they still exist. I don't get above them. You know what I mean? Even in my work, I never get above my clients because I understand them. I understand our sickness. I am just like them. I just chose to say, and oh no, you know what I mean? And come to believe. And I know that they have to do the same thing because I was in the same place that they are all in. I mean, we all, you know, are different individuals. You know what I mean? But I can't forget where I come from. I can't forget the ignorance and being the devil's advocate. I can't forget all the things that I've done and the places that I've been. I can't act as if, you know, these people are crazy. You know, they're not crazy. They sick. You know, they are sick no matter what they do or what they say. You know what I mean? Hey, I said some of the craziest shit too. I said some of the most ignorant stuff too. You know, I couldn't see because I didn't know how to listen. You know what I mean? And I, sure enough, didn't hear nothing that nobody was trying to tell me. You know, and these drugs that they have today is vicious. You understand what I'm saying? They are vicious. You know, it's not even what I used to do. That's gone. You know, we on a whole new nother platform. You know, a whole new nother disease and chronic drug that's out here that's demolishing our brains. You know, these drugs is vicious. We done went into pet tranquilizers. You know what I mean? They done took this thing to a whole nother level. Fentanyl and all that stuff. Man, I'm so glad. I can't tell you what fentanyl feels like, but I know that it's cunning and I know that it's baffling. You know what I mean? I know that it's powerful because I still see what it's doing to my people. I still see what it's doing to the suffering addicts. You understand what I'm saying? And it's awful. It is awful. It is worse than where I've been. Of course, disease is the same, but disease has become more strong. It become more powerful now. You know, like it said, you know, devil said he gonna get as many of us as he can, and it's coming through these streets. It's coming through this drinking, all the different types of liquor that they have today, all the different drugs. Liquor ain't no different. Liquor ain't no different. Everybody that drink that stuff, taste that stuff, say this stuff is good, have one drink and this stuff get you lit. You know what I mean? It took some drinks to get you lit back in the day. You follow what I'm saying? So everything has changed. Everything has changed, and the devil gonna come any way it possibly can, and it's holding a big check on the still suffering addicts and alcoholics today, and we dying, y'all. We dying. We not just walking dead alive, man. We walking dead. You follow? These people are out here bent over, can't do nothing. They can't think, they can't move, they can't eat, they can't drink, they can't pee, they can't do nothing. All they do is just stay stiff with this drug, got them doing what they doing. Some take one hit and knock out. They rock out. You follow? This thing is vicious. This is why we need this on this social media. This is why we need people who are in recovery and people who believe in their gods. You know, churches, messages, everybody needs to come together. Everybody needs to come forth and try to help people know about these drugs and these alcohol. You know what I mean? Let's get them off the street. Let's get these Kensingtons out of the way. That's what Savage Sisters is all about. The town meeting that we had the other day, it was great. It was nice. You know, people understood. People came out. The people I asked came out. Came out. You know what I'm saying? This is not costing Chester nothing. This is going to help Chester. It's going to help us to get our Kensington together. You know, because these people are coming from Philly down here now. These people are going all over the place because it's nowhere else to go. It's no more room. So they're going to make room anywhere the best way that they can. So it's all over, y'all. It's going to be like a dog with fleas. You know what I mean? This is how many of us is out there that's dying. This is how many of us out there that's trapped in this world of sickness. And as long as I can help them, I'm helping. You know, as long as I can talk my talk, you know what I mean? I'm going to talk my talk. Because if it helped one person, my job is well done. My job will be well done, you know? And I'm not turning my back on them. You know, I'm going to continue to try to help them. And yes, I have gone on, joined Savage Sisters, you know, to help do with one of whom was one of my clients. You know what I mean? Sarah, that was on this show, she was my first guest that was on this show. This girl is doing big things. You know what I mean? She's doing big things because her heart is in it. And it's all the way in it. And when the city and all I'm saying, oh no, this is this way, this is that way, this is that way. Come on now. Come on now. She's living proof. That child lived in Kensington for years of her life. You know what I mean? She know what it's like out there. She know what's up, just like I know what is out here. You follow what I'm saying? If we walk this walk, we can talk this talk. We know what we need. You understand? And when we help people to get better and to understand and come to believe in a power greater than themselves, and they choose recovery and they just come off the street, and they got a lot more information and education that they can give you out there. You can't be on the outside looking in, you know, and think you know everything. I don't care what book you got, but when you live this life and you walk this life, you can talk this life and you can share this life with the next still suffering and with the ones that think they know. I'm going to give myself some hearts on that one. Y'all know I'm crazy. I'm going to give myself some hearts on that one. Because you know why? It's the truth. It's the truth. And you know, to help people find themselves is the truth. To help people find themselves and just hear something. I don't care if they heard one word or any of you heard one word I said today. You know what I mean? That's beautiful. That's beautiful because it's another word heard. That is beautiful. Some of us get all cocky and big head, like, we done been out there now, we done changed, and we done grew to here, and we done grew to there. You still an addict too. You understand what I'm saying? And we can't forget where we come from. Somebody helped us. So we have to help somebody. And I can't make nobody do that. You know what I mean? But I'm going to talk the real stuff. I'm going to talk what I see. I'm going to talk what I know. And it's okay for you. Because when I'm trying to get in the gates, baby, I'm trying to keep my promise to God. I got mature. I got smarter. You know what I mean? I got wiser. And God let me know that he was there. And let me know that if I love him and put him first, you know what I mean? And keep my word, you know what I mean? Then I'm working on myself to get right where I'm trying to go. You know what I mean? I'm going to continue to do what I do. And I don't care who likes it. And I don't care who don't like it. You know what I mean? I love it. You follow? I love it. I love it so much. I love them hearts, Denise Doward Jones. That's my girl. Girl, I'm feeling this thing right now. I'm loving this thing. You hear what I'm saying? I have to apologize to everybody because I was supposed to have Jenny with a G on today, but her husband took ill and she had to take her husband to the hospital. You know what I mean? She will be on next week. She was like, Miss T, you got to let them know I'm coming on next T. They're never going to stop me. But you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. You never know what's going to happen the next second from now. So I'm okay with that. I never get upset. If somebody can't make it or somebody come on because I'm going to sit down and I'm just going to talk the talk. You know what I mean? I'm going to keep talking the talk. I'm going to keep sharing this time with y'all. And y'all still come on and share that time right back with me. Because this is what we do. We family. You follow? We family. And I hope the stuff that I'm talking about can help you and your family. And you and your loved ones. Or your friends' family. You know what I mean? Or your cousin's family. I don't care what part it is. Whoever has a disease that I have that is cunning, battling, and powerful, know that you are still in there and you still can find self. It ain't going to feel good. It ain't going to feel good in finding yourself. It's going to play roller coaster with you. You know what I'm saying? But all you got to do is keep saying one word, two letters, one syllable. And I'm telling you, it's going to work for you. No means no by any means necessary. And I die for that. I die for those words, because that's the most important word besides knowing who my Father is and who my higher power is that's going to keep my sanity and going to keep me living. Ha! I love this stuff, boy, I tell you. I love this stuff. I'm telling you. Man, I go to work every day and got to deal with a bunch of stuff. You follow what I'm saying? That's why my castle is right here. In here. When I come in here, here's my serenity. Here's my sereneness. You follow what I'm saying? I tell you, that prayer I got to keep with me, man. It's plastered all in front of my face. Y'all just can't see it. You know what I mean? But that thing is right here. Right in my face. Right here. Right in my heart. Right here. All up in my head. You know what I mean? And still, I can go out and deal with this crazy nutball society. You follow what I'm saying? Where everything started for me. So yeah, I hold vendetta with it. You know what I mean? But I also have the wisdom to know the difference that I didn't start it. I just joined it and I just went into the wrong direction and made a mistake. I made a mistake, and that mistake took a lot of my life and turned it into a freaking horror movie. You follow what I'm saying? But for the grace of God, now I'm living in peace. Now I'm living in peace. And we all can. I don't care how long you've been getting it in. I don't care. We done watched our parents go. We done watched grandparents go. We done watched our babies go. We done watched, little kids go from this vicious monster. And it ain't never going nowhere. They put it on the street because they put it out there for it to do what it's doing to all of us. You follow? You know how many people would be in the world if so many hadn't died from this thing? You know what I mean? It's a way to die in this world always. That's why I'm going to pray. That's why I'm going to keep my higher power, before me and everything I do. You know what I mean? So I can get in there in his world. You know what I mean? Because this one right here is vicious. This one right here is out of control. This one right here don't do nothing but kill. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's programmed to do that. You know, and I know somewhere in the Bibles and in the books it's saying just that. You know what I'm saying? Well, the days is here. The days is here. And drug and alcohol is one that has did it good. I hope that made sense. Sometimes, is that Wanda? Hey, Wanda. It has done a vicious thing out here, boy. I'm telling you. See, anything can make you love something, that make you believe that you're having a great time and a good time, and it's so silent that it's killing you. You understand what I'm saying? And you don't even know it's killing you. You follow what I'm saying? And it's just taking its time doing it quietly and silently. You know what I mean? That's some vicious stuff. That is some vicious stuff, I'm telling you. Well, you are what? You are being exposed, because I'm going to keep exposing it. I'm going to keep talking about it, and I'm going to keep living my life at this second saying one word, 2 letters, 1 syllable. And I'm going to keep spreading the word and helping you and helping anybody who wants to be helped that comes on this live for me and listen to me. You know what I mean? You let me know that I must be saying something right. I must be saying something good. You know what I mean? But I do know that I'm living proof. I do know that I'm living proof. And I do know that I love me today. And I do know that I love God today. You know what I mean? And I do know that I have a heart, you know, a mind and a soul to help the still suffering. You don't even have to be doing drugs or alcohol. You follow what I'm saying? Addiction is addiction. And we are addicted to so many things. So many things that's unnecessary. So many things that has broken us, taken us. You know what I mean? Just breaking us down. Then we come up with the high blood pressure. You come up with the anxiety. Now we into the mental health. Now we into the psych. I mean, this thing is doing a great job. Devil's working. He's working. But God got something for me. That's why we changed our lives. That's why we got to know him. You know what I mean? The fight is on. This thing is on. It's going to be on to the break of dawn. That's what it's going to be, y'all. That's what it's going to be. You know, hope somebody is hearing me tonight. I hope y'all appreciate, you know, not really appreciate. I just hope I'm being entertaining to you tonight. You know what I mean? Without having my guest. You know what I mean? Jenny is an awesome person. I want to say that. You know what I mean? And she was crying, you know, damn, oh man, I can't do you. And she was so excited to come on, you know, but things happen. Devil always in the way. You know, I realized that. I realized that a lot. It don't want this to happen. It don't want this thing, you know, the word to get around. It don't want people to make change. You know what I mean? It always brings some kind of devilish something in, you know what I mean, to try to make something happen. But guess what? We're going to be on here. Jenny will be here next week. You know what I mean? If she can't be here next week, we're going to give her another week, you know, to when she can come on. You know, as for anybody who hasn't made it on here yet, look at the ones that didn't think that they could do this, but they come on and they share. Look at the people that are calling me now wanting to come on here and share. You know what I mean? Wanting to ask questions. You know what I'm saying? Look at all of you that's watching. You know, it works if you work it. It really does. It works if you work it. You know, and we are a team, y'all. We family. You know what I mean? We helping people. We helping each other. We making each other comfortable and making each other become closer every Wednesday. Every time we come on this and don't hardly nobody know nobody, but now we all know each other. You know what I mean? Even if it's through this live, this Facebook, that's a powerful thing. That's a great thing. That lets you know that God works. You know what I mean? God works. You know, and this is what he wants to happen. This is what he asks me, held me accountable for my promise to him to do. And I feel like that I'm doing just that. And without you guys, you know what I'm saying? It would be a struggle, you know. But even being in the field of rehab and recovery, you know what I'm saying? They need us in there. You know, I didn't even feel good to really leave work. You know what I mean? Retire. set myself up with another trap. I tell you, the devil is cunning, baffling, and powerful. I'm telling you, that devil is so vicious. I tell you, that Social Security crap, y'all. I'm gonna tell you, man, that is the brilliant thief, the brilliant cheater, the brilliant liars. You know what I mean? Them people are terrible. You follow what I'm saying? They built that thing, and when I tell you they built it, they built it. You hear what I'm saying? They built it. That thing ain't nothing but like slavery to me. You know what I'm saying? They still got control of everything that I work for and I earn. Lying to me the whole time. You too. Lying us the whole time like we gonna have this, we gonna have this, and we gonna have that. Trust me. It ain't nothing what they said. Anybody who haven't retired yet to receive this Social Security, and anybody who has, understand and know what I'm talking about. If you don't have a pension, if you don't have 401ks, you ain't gonna live off no Social Security. You know what I mean? They even penalize you if you go over $1 of your own money. What? So I asked them, I said, they sent me 2 checks when I retired. They sent them 2 months early. The question was, when do you want to receive your Social Security? Well, common sense, I'm going to pick check number 1 when I retire. Well, guess what? They said that they wasn't supposed to send me those checks until 3 months after I retired. Well, that's not what the question said. So when I went in, I told them about it, let me tell you, they cut me off that thing about 5 times since I've been on it. You know what I mean? Over something dumb. 4 of the times was their mistake. Didn't matter. Didn't matter if it was their mistake. They still penalized me because they say I should know. I received the money. I took the money. Well, it's my money. What? I tell you, y'all, wake up. I'm serious. Wake up. I don't need no drugs in me. You know what I mean? I don't need no alcohol in me. I'm trying to come out the trance of this wicked world. You know what I mean? And that's just what the serenity prayer says. Living one day at a time, accepting hardships as the pathway to peace. Taking as it did, this simple world as it is, not as it would have it. You understand? As if I would have it, Trusting that we will make all things right if I surrender to his will. And absolutely, that thing with that Social Security crap, you know what I mean? I don't depend on it. I just keep working so I can depend on myself. You know what I mean? Once again, I figured out, how they're doing all this nonsense and how our lives is just they're going to try to maintain it to still be miserable. You know what I mean? So that we can't get anywhere. Now, I done put all them years in my life to work. That's one of the biggest deductions out of my paycheck. I don't care if I worked at McDonald's. That's one of the biggest deductions out of my paycheck. And now you telling me that basically I can't control my money or have my money. I asked them to cash me out. They looked at me and the man was laughing. He said, I never heard that one. I said, there's probably a whole lot of other things and questions that I'm going to be asking you that you probably ain't never heard because I'm confused. I don't understand this. I said, could you put this money that you say that you overpaid me with to the back of my money? They told me no. Really? How am I stealing from myself if it's mine? You stealing from me. That's what I told him. I said, y'all stealing from me. How you going to hold check? I thought I was supposed to get my money, not have you distribute what you want from my money to me. He laughed, because I had a good guy that I was dealing with. He said, this thing was well planned. That's all he could say. That's what he said. I said, crooks. This ain't nothing but crime. And you ain't got nobody you can call up and tell on because they're the freaking government. It's a big thing. But I have the wisdom to know the difference. You know what I mean? And God has put me in a place where I'm comfortable. You know what I mean? I can live for a little bit. You know what I mean? Even if they cut me off it. You follow what I'm saying? And I'm going to still hustle and I'm going to still do what I got to do because I know in this world is crooked. And I know everything about it, that they saying, the Democrats and the Republicans. I'm jumping to some things, but they ain't nothing but the Crips and what's the other a gang name. You know, they ain't nothing but them. They red and blue any daggone way if you ask me. I don't trust neither one of them, Democrats or Republican. You know, but you got to pick one. You know what I mean? In order to skim and live, you know, out here. You know, so, but I pick God. I pick my higher power because he's going to make sure that it's okay for me. And I understand why you'll say that. I understand why everybody, you know, people in religious beliefs and programs say that they're not worried about it because God is the one that's going to make things happen anyway. I'm truly one of you all to this day. I don't even worry about it really no more. You know what I mean? I just deal with it all one day at a time because that's what I believe in. That's what my higher power, you know, put around me, you know, and teaches around me for that and giving me this serenity prayer. You know, and then to say that I may be responsible, happy in this life, and supremely happy with him forever in the next. Man, that thing is just so beautiful. It is so beautiful. It just said everything that I was trying to say just now. You know what I mean? Hey, Marion. How you doing? And, you know, so I'm telling you, y'all, things going to be coming to us all the time. You know what I mean? We're surrounded by nothing but devilish world, you know, and people who believe in the devil just as much as we believe in God. You know what I mean? And there's always going to be a battle, you know, with them, you know, because I feel safe, you know, that I have God in me. You know what I mean? I feel safe. You know, and what's ever going to happen is going to happen. But I know when we go to the next world and we meet God, you know what I mean? I know we'll be living happily ever after. You know what I mean? This is only man-made down here. You know, what man makes, man breaks. You follow? You know, but they can't break him. They cannot break him. And we are protected and surrounded by him. You know, just believing in him. And I've learned these things, y'all, and I'm so grateful, you know, that I chose this way and not allow devil to lead my life, you know, through society, you know, around the wrong people, places, and things, you know, and I know how to praise God, you know, so I'm grateful for that. I hope everybody, you know, has heard some things I said. I hope they were interesting. I hope they all made sense. Makes sense to me, though. You follow? It all makes sense to me. I'm just sharing what I know, you know, and sharing what I feel, you know, and you know, and what I believe in. You know, I'm so grateful for seeing all you guys on here, you know, and making again this live great. I talked about earlier about the anniversary event. It's going to be built. It's built like a Grammy Emmy award, y'all, because you all deserve it. You know, that came on here and shared, and I want you to feel great. I want you to feel appreciated. I want you to feel like you are somebody and somebody loves you for what you do. You know what I mean? And you are helping people. You know, when you come on and you speak, you know, this event was for you, you know, from me, you know, and we're going to have fun with it. You know, we're going to laugh, cry, everything with it because that's called joy, you know, to me. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that's another thing I talk to God about. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen this done before, you know, but I think that it's a great thing. You know, it's a powerful thing, you know, for you to come out that world and then, you know, with nothing and receiving nothing, not even love, you know what I mean, or love for yourself, and somebody wants to appreciate you with love. You know what I mean? For something that you have done, you know, for something that you have done, you know, for self, you follow, and learn to love you, you know, and just shine, you know, and be looked at as you're shining, you know what I mean, and you're that somebody is grateful, you know, people are grateful for you and thank God for you, you know, for helping them. You know what I mean? Through our wars, you know, helping the next still suffering. That's a powerful thing. That's a great thing. You know what I mean? And from my heart, you know, you guys deserve to be rewarded. You know, so living in my truth is going to reward you. You know what I mean? You know, we're going to have a nice dinner. We have entertainment. You know, we have vendors. We got DJ. You know what I mean? We got floors. We got speakers. You know, that's going to, bring some love and care to us. You know what I'm saying? And we have each other. You know, as we there. I can only have 150 people in there, and I'm really being honest, y'all. The tickets are moving fast. You know, I want everybody to get cute. I want everybody to feel good. You know what I mean? We're going to go all the way out. Let's do it. You know what I'm saying? I just want you to come, you know, and for all my honorees, for every one of you that is watching, that has been on this live, you are my honoree. You know what I'm saying? Who came on this live and you spoke, you know, as a speaker, every one of you. You know what I mean? And believe me, my love and heart goes out to every one of you. And I want to show you that I appreciate you. You know, you are appreciated and you are somebody in this world. You know what I mean? Just keep on doing what you're doing. Keep praying. You know what I mean? I hope you heard some of the serenity prayer and can feel it the way that I do, or the way that, you know, it has hit you. You know what I'm saying? And let's have a party. Let's have fun. You know what I mean? We don't have to be drinking and drugging to have a great time or to have a good time. Actually, it's better than that. You know what I mean? By me being on being in both shoes. You know what I mean? Let's do this. Let's enjoy each other. I hope anybody who can get a ticket. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put my Cash App on here, so that if you do want a ticket and I can't hand it to you right now, you know what I mean? I can put that ticket aside and your ticket is paid for. You know, but your ticket will be, if we don't meet up, because, you know, it would be at the door and your name will be paid. You know, so if you want it mailed, that's fine too. You know, I'm in Chester's on Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. You know what I mean? I'm probably going to leave some. Well, I did leave a couple of. I want to leave a couple of them at Terrace. You know what I mean? Dream Terminal. You know, if I have to do that as well. My Cash App is. Let me do this for you guys. All right. Oh shoot, I'm going to the Cash App. Y'all bear with me. You know I'm crazy when it comes to the phone. Okay. My Cash App is $4 letter U, by Tracy. My name is spelled Trayce. All right, again, Trayce. I just put it on here. It should pop up. Hopefully it'll show up on there. You know, if not, just inbox me, and we can go from that point. You can inbox me anyway. You know, for the honorees, you know, for the ones that I haven't gotten to or spoken to, who hasn't got back with me, I'm holding a set of tickets for you guys. You know, if you have somebody that wants to come and share that moment with you, you know, but I am going to sell the tickets, you know, so if you haven't gotten in touch with me, please do. You know, I know we have each other's information, okay? Wanda, I do have your ticket, there's no doubt. I thought of you as soon as I got them, because you've been asking, you know, for quite some time. Come on, y'all, come on out, let's do this thing. We gonna be superstars out there, because we are. You know what I mean? We are superstars. You know, and I want you to feel like you know, the star that you are. You know, and let's have a beautiful time. Okay? I know that most likely I probably went over as I always do. I did, but I'm all right with it. You know what I mean? And I hope that you guys have got something out of the day. And don't forget, it's going to be vendors there, y'all. Hey, look, I got some stuff for you now. You're going to love it. You know, so come ready to purchase some of my stuff too, man. I got some bad stuff that I'm put together now. Y'all know when I start something that I'm going to go all the way out with it. You know, so come ready. We're going to have pocketbooks. We got sweatshirts. We got t-shirts. You know, we got jewelry. What else? Jackets. You know, we got it all. We got a lot coming for you. And we have Edwina, you know, her book, Y'all had a good time, joyous time on here with Edwina when she was on here. She's bringing her books, you know, so she'll have a table with her books and sign off on them. You know, we're going to have a awesome dinner, you know, everything. So, and the entertainment is going to be outstanding. So, I hope everybody can try to make it, and please get in touch with me, you know, if you want to get a ticket. Oh, and right now the ticket's on the Moonlight Special. The Moonlight Special, y'all, how far we go back with that when y'all know I'm old school. For $35 now. You know, at the end of the month, that stops. And the beginning of June, it goes to the original price of $40. You know, so y'all come on and get these tickets and come on out and celebrate, you know, with Living in My Truth. And the awards are LNMT. It's called the Living in My Truth Awards. You know what I mean? So, again, I don't know if I told y'all going to walk the purple carpet, you know, because purple is recovery colors. We're going to walk the purple carpet. We're going to get interviewed out front on the carpet. You know what I'm saying? So, y'all come on, and it's going to be filmed and all. And hopefully, you know, if it fills up, we're going to go on live with it. You know what I mean? So, you all who can't make it from different places, you know, and where you live can still be there. You know what I mean? So hopefully we can get to that point. Okay, so I'm going to try my best to do all that I can do so, you know, we all can enjoy this beautiful moment. I'm going to go through a couple more names, and then I'm going to pop off this thing, y'all. Let me get this together because I lost the whole screen. Okay, here we go. I done lost the whole screen. I see these hearts coming. I appreciate that. Y'all know I still love them hearts. I'm always going to love the heart. You're going to always see the heart because everything that I do and say on here comes from the heart. You know, it look like this thing is, I don't even see no more. Well, I ain't going to be able to go off of this, y'all, because I don't even see. I think since I turned it off, I can't see the, I'm going to move up a little bit. I can't see Summer was saying. Carmen, what's that, Delgado? Thank you for showing your support power of joy. Your voice has reached my daughter, Natalie. I'm grateful for you. Thank you. You know, and thank Natalie. Natalie did this, and I'm glad that we have this platform so Natalie can get some more information and education on there to help her, you know, with herself. You know what I mean? But know this, Natalie is doing this work. Natalie is the one that has to get herself, you know, in a recovery lifestyle. And I appreciate you watching this show, Natalie, because you let me know that it works. You know what I mean? If you work it. Wanda, thanks for coming on, you know. Okay, you can cash at me too, if that's what you choose to do, Wanda, and I will definitely have your names down for paid. I've already done that with many people, so who else is saying something? I think I said, hey, Marilyn, I think, Trees Grass said, the devil is always trying to throw dirt in the game. Always, girl, always. But you have to stump the devil out. That's right. We ain't gonna let him in this. I don't even let people come with that negative stuff on here. I'm not trying to hear that. If this not for you, don't watch it. That's how I feel about it. It's for the ones who want it, the ones who reach out for it. You know, now, I'm not on here making up nothing. You know what I mean? Some people don't even like to be exposed with this thing because I'm telling on them. You know what I'm telling on? Sickness. You follow what I'm saying? You know, so if it ain't for you, you know, I'm not being cocky. I'm just saying don't watch it because we enjoying it. We helping each other, you know, and we show up every week. You know what I mean? So, you know, from that last person that did that, he ain't been back on here either. I think I told him very nicely, you know, the same thing. You know, I'm not God. You know what I mean? I'm not Oprah. I'm not none of that. I'm Tracy Allen, living in her truth. And she's just sharing it with other people who wants to live in their truth. We just need to be guided in some ways and get some information and education on the beast, you know what I mean? So that we can get there, you know, and I'm going to continue to do it. You know, people try to contradict my word. I don't care what you say about what you think, I'm saying this is how it works for me. This is how I share it. You follow? So I hope that, we can, God to keep us away from, keep living in my truth, away from all that type of nonsense. You know what I mean? But I'm ready for you, though. You know what I mean? Because for whatever you have to say, I have something to say behind it. Believe that. This is what recovery teaches us. So learn the language before coming for me. Learn the language. But I don't care about that, y'all. I just had to throw that in there because, people sometimes like to get in the way. Lisa Jones, hey Tracy, hey Lily, how you doing, girl? If you're still watching, love you too. Deidre Milk, hey D, what's up? Hey y'all, I just love this. I love it so much. I do. And Denise Doward Jones, I know you better be there. Yeah, you need to be there. I got you. I want you there, girl. Trust me. All right, y'all. I know but hey, Letty. I know there's a lot of names on here. I appreciate everybody coming on, and Lynn, I definitely love you, mommy, for real. Always will. My sister, love you, Hud. You know that anyway. Natalie, thank you, love you too. I love everybody on here, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? But I try to shout out a lot of names that's on here. Y'all got a lot of stuff on here too. You know what I mean? That's really awesome. Renee, call me too, because I'm looking for you to be there as well. Edwina, love you. Edwina has a live that comes on in the morning, y'all. Sometimes 6:30, sometimes 7:30. So if you up in the mornings, try to pop on, and here. She be putting it down, man. She really be putting it down. I rode with her from the time I got up this morning all the way to work. This morning I was hanging in there, Edwina, until I lost you. But I'm gonna send you guys some hearts. Oh, it's still working, y'all. I'm gonna send you guys some hearts and love y'all. I will see you guys next month. And again, Jenny with a G, she told me to make sure that I put her apology in of her where there's no apology needed. You know what I mean? But she will be on next week. So y'all tune back in, all who was on here, to support her with this as well. You know what I mean? And all my family and loved ones, all of you all that's here every week. You know what I mean? So I'm going to pop off, y'all. I appreciate you. I'm going off with God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just say it. Say it to yourself and just listen to what it says. Speak so much. Speak so much. I'll see you guys next week.